Hey guys, and welcome back to the Make Your Wish podcast. My name is Erica, and I'm here with my lovely, beautiful bestie, Desiree.
Hi,
And
guys.
today we're doing something different. We're doing a get ready with me for 2025 vibe. But we're also recording on TikTok too. So we're live on TikTok as well as recording um our podcast, which is really cool. And yeah. So how are you today, Des?
I'm so excited to be here, obviously. Very excited to, get back on and do something fun with you. I am looking forward to 2025 so bad. So, yeah, also just really excited to like finish out this year strong and like talk through goals and talk through like different things that we may be doing differently. So, yeah.
Yes, same. And I'm also excited to just do some makeup too because I haven't done my makeup in like a week and a half, 2 weeks almost. So excited for like a little natural beat. I'm gonna go outside and feel like put together today.
No, literally same. I guess I'll go do something because we're doing our makeup.
Exactly. We're setting that tone for 2025. We're coming into 2025 polished, trying to live our best life, adjusting. Um, welcoming new opportunities, welcoming new energy, all of that good jazz. But before we get into the podcast and our makeup, Desiree, it's question time. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah, mine is like very generic of a question, but if you, let me think, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, if you at this very moment could go vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go vacation?
Ooh, if I could go anywhere in the world, it would probably be Dubai. Yeah, it's been like my bucket list like for so long.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I want to go to Dubai really bad. I just want to see like the streets of gold. Like I know that's like not really, I don't know if it's like super accurate, but it's just like what people have said. And I just want to see like all the different ways that they live and like do life and things like that. Um, yeah. What about you?
If I could go anywhere right now, oh, like completely free and like I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I think I would go to Bora Bora and just go get me a little hut and just sit out there for like a week and just like breathe and reset my
I need that too. I
life.
need that real bad.
No, I
What's more like though? I can't even like think of it's warm, obviously, right?
yeah, Bora Bora is warm. They have like the really blue, clear ocean water. It's
Yeah,
a vibe for sure. It's such a vibe.
that's what we
Like
love.
if yeah, I'll see you a picture and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, I need to be there. Yeah,
Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so I'm gonna say for my question, I'm gonna be like generic too. But so you know how like Biden just pardoned like his son?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
So I was thinking like through this earlier, but like if you were the president and you could do one final thing like before you leave, what would you do?
Okay, obviously, this is a really, really easy one for me. I'm clearing out student loans for everyone. And if you
Oh,
pay the student loan, guess what? You're getting a reimbursement, and I don't care what the country has to go through after that. Like education, the fact that we pay for education is actually
yeah,
sick. Like, why would we pay to build up our society? Like,
yeah.
that's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like education should be free. And yeah, that's where I'm going with mine. What about you?
Maybe probably something with like education too, but like I think it would be like putting mandatory like mental health classes or maybe even like financial classes into like schools, like something like that, where it would be like changing the school systems because I just feel like there's so much that needs to be revamped and it's just not. So yeah, probably that.
Or like or requiring like that schools have like a career sector to them. I know like in St. Louis they have like different career academy high schools. So like the high schools are geared towards like trades and setting up kids for trades. Yeah, my sister actually went to one when we were growing up. But like and we had like full childcare centers in there. Like if you
Oh,
were interested in electrical or like plumbing. They had like plumbing classes, but just more so like gearing you up for the real world, gearing you up for business, for life, etc., rather than just getting a general education because the general education is good and while that's important as well, but I agree like it's not enough. It's not enough. Like, we're out
Yeah,
here. I mean, banks are out here and colleges are lending
yeah,
18-year-olds $20,000, $30,000. Like, excuse me? Like, I feel like when I went into college, I didn't even know like what we were getting ourselves into either. So,
yeah. And I feel like it's just crazy because you don't like know what you're even doing. You're not even, I feel like, old enough to understand like what you're actually doing. And in return, I don't feel like it's a good enough system. Like, I don't feel like they really equipped you with even in college. Like, I do think those things should start in the high school level, but even in college, you would think you're spending like $30,000, etc. You would think you would get like that mind to actually do life, or that mentality that you need, or that financial, mentality that you need to actually do life. But it's like, no.
no,
So
so yeah, that's why,
structure the education system for sure.
yeah, for sure. And also just, you know, I mean, well, you just said you structure it, but just like I think it's just so important for every single person to understand business and how business works, because, you know, if you are young and in high school, you have this idea, this concept or whatever, it's it's hard to start or it's hard to launch off right now because, you don't first of all, the business world is very hard to understand. You have like taxes and all of that goes into it. And just no knowledge. So yeah, I'm excited for that for the future. And that's a really great suggestion as well.
Yeah.
A little bit non-selfish like mine.
No, yours is good. We need
Clear them out. Clear them out.
non-selfish because you're doing it for everybody. I love that. We need that.
Yeah, we do. Okay, well, we can just jump into I get ready with me. So what kind of makeup look are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do like a natural like vibe, like maybe like a like headed to Target for the day.
Uh, I'm not going to Target today, but I am gonna do that kind of vibe too. I just want something just light, natural, every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
basically.
As if you're joining like now, we are just on a get ready with me. Hi, Felicia. We're on a get ready with me podcast vibe, and we're shooting our podcast, but we're live also on TikTok. So just letting you guys kind of get into the vibes, and we're gonna do our makeup. So we're not makeup gurus, so please don't judge if I'm using like the wrong concealer or if I'm using like the wrong, don't judge me. I learned from like experience. But yeah, just gonna talk through some vibes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So,
Yeah. What
um,
kind of look are you doing?
what do you say?
I said, what kind of look are you doing?
Oh, I just said I was doing the exact same thing. I'm literally, honestly, because I'm kind of feeling just the natural right now and not
Yeah.
doing much. So I'm just gonna fill in my eyebrows just a little bit more and then a little concealer and just see how I feel after that. But anyways, let's just get into debriefing 2024.
Yeah,
Because 2024, I just felt like, I don't know.
I
How do you
know.
feel about 2024, your overall vibe?
Well, my overall vibe, 2024 was really good to me. I'm not gonna lie. It ended pretty like heavy, or it is ending pretty heavy, but just because we have like so much to do. Um, but I honestly like prayed for this, so I can't be like upset that
Yeah.
things are here. But yeah, 2024 has been a good year. It has been lots of change. Obviously, we moved to Georgia.
Wait,
And
oh, wait, yes. Never mind, go ahead. Sorry.
wait, I no, I've been here for
But
a
this
year.
is like your first like official like
Yeah,
year.
a year. Yeah, this was our first full year in Georgia, and um, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but it's been fun. Like at first when I moved here, I was like, "Oh, like I don't like Georgia, or I don't love Georgia, but I like it." But it is like really growing on me. I'm
Okay.
enjoying it for sure. So, I don't know. 2024 has been a headache in itself, but it's been a real blessing, and I think we've gone places that I never like thought we would go. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for more. Excited for a lot more. What about you? What's your
My overall, I mean, I just feel like I mean, every year is going to be a series of like highs and lows, but like you said, regardless, been extremely blessed in 2024. I will say, like, it feels like it started off hectic and it's ending a little hectic for me, but it's good hectic, like, so it's okay. But I mean, to be honest, I'm just excited to take all of my lessons and just become a stronger and more dedicated, better person next year, to be honest. Because I mean, bad things happen to good people every day. Good things happen to bad people. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I just feel like you just have to take the punches and roll with it and look at every single opportunity as if it's an opportunity for you to create the life of your dreams or whatever. So
yeah, you do.
I feel like
Yeah,
I take it a
negative,
lot. Yeah.
positive.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I said yeah, every negative ain't every positive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. But yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. But yeah, 2024 has been, I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every moment, but it was a lot. It was a lot, a lot, a lot. It was a lot of adjusting for me.
Mhm.
It was a lot of like rolling with the punches also for me, like,
Yeah.
things happening. And then like, it's like things happening and then just kind of like, okay, let me adjust and let me figure out how to move from here. But I do think that that's like where you grow like the most
Mhm.
is, kind of having to do things that you never have done before or, like I just love that growth in that space. It's funny because I was listening to a podcast this morning and the guy, he is the CEO of Squarespace. Um,
Mhm.
and he was just speaking on how when he first started, he was like still a college student and he like went live and he was in like his year two.
Mhm.
And he was like, it's crazy because I like, I was more successful. I was obviously making more money, but even in year two, he said he was just making like 200,000 a year in year two. So he
Oh,
still wasn't like, crazy rich or anything. But he was like, even then, like the stresses, like, that came with, that comes with entrepreneurship or come with entrepreneurship. He was like, they're so unreal. Like people do not understand, like, he's like, I thought I wanted something, but it's crazy how heavy that things really can be when it's all your own. And he was just speaking on like, Squarespace, like I coded. So like everything was like a code. And he's like, so, something that's complete, you're the only person who can really like fix things. He's like, that was like my first time feeling real responsibility because I created something and I like went in for it and I like tried, to make it this huge thing, but you never really understand the responsibilities of, entrepreneurship and like what you create sort of thing until you get in that space, until it like automatically hits you. So
yeah.
I say to say like, yeah, I feel like this year really hit me with that sort of thing. Like you created something like this and you really have to deal with all that it comes with.
Yeah. And that's so crazy though, because I feel like when a lot of people think of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start me a business, blah, 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 blah.
Mm,
And they don't realize how much work it takes to actually, see your vision come to fruition and stuff. And like we work freelance for clients too. So I mean, even with me, like I work with a few different smaller businesses or it's just people that are just trying to get stuff off the ground and they don't understand that like success doesn't happen overnight. If you're,
yeah,
even with our podcasts and stuff like that, I feel like people want that instant gratification and like 2024 just really reinforced like trusting the process and just understanding that everything's going to happen, when it's supposed to happen.
yeah,
And with clients at least, just trying to help them understand that like good things take time and like Rome wasn't built overnight. I mean, my favorite thing to say in a meeting is like, hey, Target was not built overnight. So I understand that you want to be an overnight sensation. You want your podcast to have, 20 million views, whatever, but like you have to show consistency and you have to, you know, really honor yourself, honor your own goals, your own visions, and show up for yourself. Because if you don't show up for yourself, no one else is going to show up for you. And that also was just like a huge thing for me in 2024 is just learning how to show up for myself no matter how I feel. And show up for my clients no matter how I feel too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's deep. How do you show up for yourself like on days that you just feel like blah? Like I know for me personally, today was like a blah day.
Yeah.
Um, and it's always so awkward, like that time between like Thanksgiving and Christmas, because I feel like, people should be leaving me alone until next year.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like what are some ways that you feel like you've shown up for yourself this year during like the tough times?
Yeah. So one, I just wanted to like I always just lean on God for everything. Like just reflecting over this year, like I mean, I got smacked in the face with stuff in January, like straight off the grip after we did all of our positive podcasts talking about how, what we're gonna do in 2024, X, Y, and Z. So like we started off with these strong intentions and then like it was like boom, boom, boom. But like I had to just recognize like God is fighting your battles for you. Like you don't have to try to fight your own battles, etc. Like just like literally
Mm,
just give it to God. Like God, let God work. Like if you say you have faith in God, you need to actually exercise that faith by just releasing control and stuff. So that's one of the main things that I've done to really keep my faith strong and then to also keep myself motivated to keep going. And then too, I mean, you just have to stay inspired. You have to be hungry. You have to know that your dreams, your visions, or whatever you want to have in this lifetime is attainable. So just, affirming that everything's attainable to me, that I'm working towards a brighter future, all of that. You just got to lift yourself up. If you're not lifting yourself up, then you can't expect anyone else to do it for you.
boom.
Yeah,
That's
what do you
true. Yeah, that's crazy because I was literally just talking to my sister about that, and it's like a sad lesson that you have to learn in life. But
do?
it's like it's so true. Like nobody will do it for you. Like nobody will do anything for you is like really what it is. But it's like nobody will be there, whenever. And not to say like there's not good people in your life or you won't have good people in your life, but you really have to have that mindset of like if you want something done, do it yourself. Um, and I feel like if you don't have that mindset, it's like you probably will fail like so many times. And it's not even like if you want something done, it's like even if you want like your own mind to be okay, you have to do it yourself. Like if you're falling, and I don't take away from depression because that's like so real.
Yeah.
Um, so real. But it's like even if you find yourself in a space like that where you just feel like your mind is like sick, or you just really like keep going to this space, like it's only up to you. It's literally unless you want, someone to end up putting you in like a hospital or something like that. Like we really do have the power to pull ourselves out. It's just about taking those actions and things, which I know are very, very hard and not always um, like doable at times. But yeah, I just feel like, for me, like I'm kind of the same space. Like the ways that I try to pull myself out of things are just like running is like a huge escape for me. Like and we talked about this on the podcast before. I don't always do it as much, but I do know that if my mind is so cluttered and so full at times, like to get out and outside and run. Not at the gym. I'm not a gym girly, but to get outside and run for me has always been like an escape mentally, so that I can like breathe.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and then just prayer, like definitely prayer. Like even when I don't have the words, like I feel like I often find myself in a space like when like the world is like blowing me in a way. I feel like
Thank
I
you.
often find myself in a space, yeah, where I'm just like I can't even breathe right now, so I have to pray. Like I have to like and it may like I said, it may not even be words. It may just be like I have to cry right now or I have to, scream or yell or, I don't know, whatever it may be. I just like often find myself in a space where it's like, oh, I need to like just sit here and know that like God hears me and like he knows my heart and like he knows my mind and my soul, and that's all that I can do. So, yeah, and I mean my family is like my world, and you also. So, if I need to like call you and just vent
Mhm.
or, talk to my family, we'll like get on our group chats. Like that's what I feel like really heals me. But I know, and we've talked about it too on this podcast, that it's like there's everybody needs something different, and everybody has to like um be there for themselves in different ways. So we really have to like fall into who we are, and like I feel like that will really allow us to like blossom in the way that like each person needs to, because we all need different things. We're different people.
Yeah, I agree. 100%, 100%. But yeah, you hit it on the head with like running and all of that being an outlet. Because you know me, I'm like, I have to release, I have to get
Really.
some sleep, or like, just I don't know, find different outlets or whatever.
Yeah.
Stay motivated, especially nowadays. It's hard because there's always just so much going on. But uniquely, I think community is something that's very important too, and that's what I'm excited for in 2025. I just feel like, we're gonna curate a community of like-minded people, that also, have dreams and goals that they want to see come to fruition. So just manifesting, community to uplift us, to be real, because I feel like on social media, people are trying to sell their products X, Y, and Z, and they're like, oh, um, join my course and I'll train you how to be like me or whatever. And I quit my job and now I'm making, $1 million a year, blah, 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 blah. But like, there's no sense of community and there's no vulnerability,
Yeah.
they're showing their best face with that. So, I just think being vulnerable and then also establishing, community will really help you like, propel forward. So that's one thing that I want to see more of in 2025 is just a community of like-minded people, which I'm working on it. So we'll see how that comes together. But yeah.
It'll come together beautifully. But question, like, what are some things that, I mean, obviously 2024 isn't over yet.
Mhm.
Do you have like some goals or some things that you want to like finish strong with before the year's over? Or like what's your vibe for the last like what 20 days of the year?
Uh, um, I feel like I'm gonna use the last 20 days just to really, 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 really like hone in and reset with myself. Like the last 20 days, I need to like get my vision so clear. I want
Mm,
to make sure I work through anything like that, any emotions that I have not addressed or any issues. I want to have go into 2025 with a clear slate and a fresh mind. And I just want to give myself time to breathe because I really do just want 2025 to just be a year where we take off. And if you know anything about God, when you ask him to take off, he,
oh,
you're prepared mentally,
yeah.
whatever. So I want to create space for more blessings, new opportunities, all of that, going into 2025. So heavy on vision boards, manifesting, reading self-help books that will propel me forward, that will just, help me have better money management and all of that. So just really taking the last 20 days to hone in and try my best to become the best version of myself for next year. How about you? What steps are you taking to, prepare yourself for 2025?
Yeah, really similar. And I absolutely loved how you said like emotionally, like you had said something about emotionally, and like I feel like that's me. Like I really just want to maybe like get things off my chest that I feel like, I haven't, or like I just feel like I'm definitely a kind of person that is just like tunnel vision. And I don't always say what I mean or what I want to say, always. And I feel like that is a super declutter too that people often like look past. Um, and I feel like it's very important to physically like check things off of your bucket list and like do things that you need to do and like want to do. And also like make sure that like your business stuff is in order, but it's also super important to make sure that like your mental is in order. And your friendships, we've talked that about that a lot in our podcast, like, the full scale of things, like step back and zoom out. Like I just really think I want to step back and zoom out on everything, like, the people that you have surrounding you, because what they say, like you are who you surround yourself with and things like that. Like just the things that I may not have looked at so closely before. Like I just definitely want to zoom out and just make sure that I'm looking at all of that really closely. And then I also want to zoom out as well on like my business and my personal, and just make sure that this is like what I set myself up for. This, like I'm on the right track. Like how we always like look at or think back to when we were like in middle school or elementary school, and we're like, what did that little Desiree like want, or where did that little Desiree see herself when she was like about to be 30? Like you said it the other day when we were on the phone, like this is our last year in our 20s, this next year anyway. And it's just like I really want to zoom out and make sure that I'm on the path that, like, of course the little Desiree, like she didn't have the same things that this big Desiree wants, but in a lot of the core ways like she does. So I do feel like, I want to make sure that I'm zooming out and I'm really on the track of where I want myself to be. And I want to make sure that I, take the time to redirect myself if necessary. So yeah, I think that's like the vibe of the end of 2024, is just to make sure that I redirect and stay aligned with my purpose.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's just speaking of purpose too, it's just like I feel like the last 20 days I just really want to get intentional with God too, and just make sure like that I'm fulfilling the purpose that he would have me fulfill, because I feel like a lot of times where I just honestly feel like my entire life so far, like I've kind of been doing what I want to do. Like I haven't really 100% like went through God and been like, hey God, like what would you have me do, like what is your goal for my life? Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I want to get tapped in and just be like 100% like aligned with God, and making sure that God is a priority in my life too. Because if I'm honest, like I'm a big habits person, or I'm a big routine person. So like I have my daily routines set up at X, Y, and Z, but like I need to make sure that God is centered and structured within my routine as well. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something that I want to do for myself as well.
I love that. I think just those things are just, I mean, I think that's a always thing probably for people in life. Like you don't want to get like overwhelmed or like make yourself overwhelmed because of, it's like literally like a constant growth type of thing. Like we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing, and we honestly truly have to constantly realign ourselves with God. Because if you have a relationship with him, guys, like this is a tough thing, and it's a tough world because the world just continues to throw more at us, and more confusion, and like that's just how the devil works. The enemy is like always trying to send things that it's like, oh, like this is okay, this is, it's okay, like you can do this, but it's like, are you really aligned with God? So yeah, I would just say, I say that to say, like, just make sure that we're all like, don't be too hard on yourself, but yeah, continue to redirect and realign yourself like constantly, because it is a thing where you just have to like always zoom out, even daily or monthly, like, hey, am I on the right track? Like, am I, making excuses for things, or am I, just like doing things that maybe, I wouldn't see myself doing before. So yeah, it's difficult, but we can do it.
No, seriously. Yeah, but just, I mean, with that too, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm shedding in a sense. It's like I'm before the end of the year, I'm like shedding off so that I can, be lighter in 2025. And shedding isn't always easy. I feel like that's something that we don't really talk about a lot, is necessarily shedding and like having to go through the process of elimination, or just, cutting certain people off, or whatever you have to do, like to actually like level up or whatever. Because when they say everybody can't come with you, they're not lying. Like you like they can't.
And everybody shouldn't come with you. Like,
Yeah.
I love to speak on that because I
Mhm.
saw like a little meme thing. Sorry guys, I have to get my nails done because I'm in between right now. But I just saw a little meme thing like this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, but it was just like it was like two photos, and one was like the applause or the congratulations, and then one was like, I forget what the other one was, but it was basically like your support and then your congratulations. And your support, it's like you sitting in the like, you sitting in the bleachers all by yourself, and then your congratulations, it's like a full crowd. But I just feel like that's so true because it's really really real. Like whenever you're on the grind and you need different things, or you need your support, like people are not always there. And then as soon as like you have a launch, or like, hey, we have a big event, like come out, it's like those certain people will want to like enjoy those things. And I'm not saying like your friends business isn't yours, so it's fine, but you do need to support your people, and you do need to be there whenever people need it. And those are the types of things that I feel like you really should pay attention to, especially closing out this month. Like, yeah, like closing out this month, I feel like it's really, really important to just make sure that you're looking at the people who are around you, and you're not taking people with you that aren't, helping, or aren't aiding in different ways, or just aren't supportive. I feel like that's like super important.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's extremely, extremely important too. And especially since, especially since, I don't know, we have great callings on our life. And like I know God has so much destined for us. So we like literally have to protect ourselves so much because like you said, people, they will see what you got going on and they want to, be a part of it or suck the energy out of it in a sense too, because not everyone has the best intentions for you either. And I don't know if like this whole year on our podcast, we've talked about like just people and navigating people and learning how to be okay with, letting people go X, Y, and Z. So I mean, hey, it's like your job. They give you performance evaluations. Like sometimes you got to do friendship evaluations and be like, okay, well, like to be honest, like I feel like I'm putting in more than you, or I don't feel like this relationship is very reciprocated, or X, Y, and Z. So like I feel like sometimes you do have to do like a little evaluation just
Mhm.
to do like I mean like a temperature check.
Yeah, and that's like a healthy thing, guys. Like that's not something that it's like, oh, like you're doing too much. Like no, it's not at all, because we're human, we have emotions, and we honestly truly do not have like full control over them. Like we do have control in a sense, but it's like when you know that you feel how you feel, you were born how you were born, and you have experiences and triggers and things that you just, they're out of your hands now.
Yeah.
So it's a healthy thing. Like, even if you do decide to stay friends with someone, but you do know that there's things that are boiling over, or you do know that there's things that need to be addressed, like, it's very healthy to just like communicate to whoever it may be, or, and even if it's, work, or, whatever it sounds like that needs to be reevaluated, it's very, very healthy to just step back and say, okay, this is getting to a point where, my attitude might change towards this person, or my tone might change towards this person. So let me just get to the root of it and let these people know, like, hey, or, just healthily communicate, whether it be relationship, friendship, coworker, etc.
So I have a question too. So like what do you do to or how do you advocate for yourself when it's hard? Like when it's in those situations where maybe you feel like you shouldn't have to say anything or like the person should automatically get you X, Y, and Z. Like how do you advocate for yourself in those moments?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, I have not. Like, my vibe, I actually need, like, a, thing right now, but my vibe is so much like I've always, 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 but I'll give you an example, but I really always, always, always have, like, just stayed quiet and been like, "Okay," like, we'll work it out, or like things will work out. And that's kind of how like a lot of people too that I've seen growing up have done things. So I can't be mad at myself for
Learn behavior.
that way. Yeah, it's a learned behavior. But at the same time, I have, as I've grown up and decided like, hey, I actually do need to advocate for myself, or I actually do need to step back and evaluate things in the most healthy way. I mean, there's different ways to do it, but I know as of recent, like this past year, I did have issues with a certain relationship that I had, and I kind of tried to do it in a light way because I did want that relationship to continue. I just needed to communicate certain things. So I was like, hey, let's get lunch, like a simple vibe. And then, brought it up at lunch, like, this is this. And I do think it's all about approach. Like, it's so much about approach, because if because like, and I've done it in my past, like I've just cut people off where I just don't text them back, or I don't start answering their calls. Like, and that in a way is just like, it's horrible communication, as anyone would know. So yeah, and then you actually don't allow that person to even understand, like, there's a lot of like, there are certain things that it's like, you should just know and you shouldn't treat me this way. But there are certain things too where people are so grown these days and they like run so fast. Like, people sometimes don't even understand, the way that they've changed. Like, we're all growing too. That's another huge thing that you have to understand. Like, it's not just you that's growing. So it's like your friends are growing, and they're changing. And I just feel like it's really important to understand that, like, you have to communicate and be on the same page with those people that you love the most, because you never know what's going on in another person's life. You never know where their mind is. You never know where their soul is, their spirit. There's so many layers to things. So, and even if things don't work out, you can wipe your hands with it, because it's like you communicated properly. So,
Exactly. And I think that is what feels good as well, because I actually just had like a little bit of cleanup from a previous friendship or whatever. And um, I had thought about, I don't know, I have issues with friendships and stuff like that, with like um rekindling things kind of, but
mm,
I literally had to do like cleanup, and I had to, acknowledge, where I was wrong, X, Y, and Z. And I sent a message, but it wasn't necessarily for her. It was more so for me. It was more so for me to like say, okay, well, I ended things gracefully, like, X, Y, and Z. But that stuff is never easy for sure. And I asked, how do you advocate for yourself? Because I feel like a lot of times people just move on and suppress things. And I know I'm one of those people. Like, I just be like, oh, I don't got time for it right now. Like, and I just suppress it and I keep pushing. But like, you know,
especially when you feel hurt, you're just like, all right.
exactly. So learning not to suppress things and actually advocate for yourself is like huge, 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 huge.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's talk 2025 goals just very vaguely, and then we can wrap this up too. So, do you feel like you have like any like goals or overarching goals that you feel like you want to share?
Yeah, obviously, you and I are both very business minded, so I'll kind of go there first. I am really looking to secure huge clients this year, as a whole. So, looking for like corporate partnerships this year, between Cross Media and us. We really want to do like airports, like bigger, like partnerships like that. So yeah, really hoping to lock in a few clients this year in that realm, in that way. And then yeah, relationally, hoping to take next steps there too. And I won't get into too many details because I'm still a private person. But yeah, probably will be taking next steps there and that way too. So that's exciting. Um, and then yeah, friendship wise, like I mean, I love my friends. I hope to continue to like, build healthy relationships with them. And we talked about like a cruise, like a best friend cruise this summer. So really looking forward to doing that. Yeah, and hoping to transition the space that I'm in. That will probably happen also. And What else? Like personally, yeah, I told Erica I think I'm gonna jump into a gym. I told you guys on the podcast, like I'm really not a gym girly. I haven't been a gym girly in the past, but I think I am gonna try to just like jump into the gym and just find my space and like where I feel comfortable. So definitely looking forward to that. And then just like definitely staying consistent with like hobbies. Um, and self-discipline. I think, that's been my wave these last few months of the year, and I want to continue that. Um, just continuing to self-discipline myself in what I want to do, making sure that I'm consistent with that, and then yeah, just making sure that I'm like growing and like making sure that I'm learning from the bad and the good. Like those things are just gonna happen, like the good and the bad are gonna happen. So I just feel like, yeah, making sure that I'm staying positive during those like maybe negative things that are happening in my life. Like I always want to see the glass kind of like half full instead of half empty.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
What
Mindset
about
is
you?
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just bouncing off of you. All of your career goals, exactly mine. We work together. So if you need media management, let us know. But um, yeah, just hustle. Like I want to hustle. But hustle softly in a sense. But I
Yeah.
want perfect opportunities to come to me. I want to open my mind up to new possibilities. I feel like I've been in a pattern for like years now of
Mhm.
just, staying comfortable, X, Y, and Z, just letting whatever happen. But I'm really trying to, expand and be open to new possibilities this year. So that's one thing that I'm gonna do, which hustle, whatever. And then two, I'm just gonna put these together. It's just discipline and consistency. Like they go hand in hand, but I feel like discipline is one of the things that is really my superpower because when I lock in, I really lock in. Like I know that about myself. I can get stuff done. I'm like, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So just making, being more structured with my goals so that I'll, be disciplined to get them done
Yeah.
and just staying consistent with it all, regardless of like routine hiccups. Like I was off last week and like now my routine is messed up and like I'm fighting for my life to get it back. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I just want to be disciplined. I want to be open to the new possibilities, or I just don't want to limit myself either. I feel like a lot of times I just limit myself or I think small, but like that saying was a few years ago, it's like you got to think big, B.
Think
But yeah, I
big.
just want to think big. I want to live big. I want to live large. I don't want to limit myself because God doesn't have limits. So even though I have these bounds that I try to pound myself in for safety and security purposes, I want God to like just expand those doors for me. And then um relationship wise, I want to expand on that too. But like you said, not too much. I ain't giving you too much information on that. But I would
Yeah.
love to expand in home and career life. I mean, home and personal life too. And then like you said, strengthen my friendships. I feel like friends are everything and we only have each other. So yeah, friends, family, all of that good jazz. But overall, I just want it to be a year of breakthrough. Like, I want it to be the aha moments. Like, that's why I would do that, or that's why I did this, like everything just piecing together. And I believe that that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be an aha year, like
Yeah.
a year that I can finally breathe. Like, let me just say that too. I feel like we've been in our 20s, our early 20s, and I just feel like I've been like in survival mode, just fighting to survive month after month. But I just really pray that like 2025 is the year that things make sense and I'm able to breathe and also able to take care of everyone else around me because I know a lot of my family members and friends are in the same boat too. So it's like if I have a breakthrough, I'm going to try to help you have a breakthrough too, period.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's so, 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 so real. I feel like, yeah, all those goals are really, really relatable. Guys, please, if you're listening, like tell us your goals in the comments. Like just put any one if that's all it is. But it's just like, or just tell us like how you're gonna end 2024. Like what are some goals before 2025? We still have like what 25 days.
Something. I know we got some, well, 24 days. No, 25 days. You're right, 25.
Think. But yeah, it's like, guys, like let's just like how are we gonna finish 2024? Or what do you want to do in 2025? Like I feel like, the goals like having something or having like something to think through or like something to go towards is essential. Because where are you going if you're just like very aimless, you know? And I feel like why not start right now? Like, you know, we can check some things off before the end of the year even happens. So I feel like that's where I'm at. Like December hits and I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, like let's get it done, you know, let's do it. Um, I just feel like I get locked in like right here on December. I'm like, okay, I have like 30 days now. So like let me get it done, or 31. But you know, now we're, you know, we're a little bit into it. And I just feel like it's now or never. Like we just have to lock in and we have to do it for ourselves. Like if no one else, and even if you're at a place where you're kind of like, and I'll speak on this because I had a conversation with my family the other day, but even if you're at a place where you're like, I don't want to do anything for myself, like I'm okay, like, you know, we're like, personally, I don't have motivation for myself. Like do it for your siblings, do it for your kids, do it for the people who love you, you know, like I feel like that's a kind of motivation that you can like stick with, because you know, sometimes we feel that way. We're all human. Like I felt that way where I'm like, I don't have motivation. Like I don't have the space where I'm like, oh, okay, I want to get it done. Like I'm just not there. So, you know, that's the time where you need to be like, okay, well, if you're not there, like do it for your child, or do it for your sister, or do it for your brother, like, or do it for your mom. Oh my God. I saw like a video that was like, you know, you can't repay your parents. Like there's just literally like monetary, like you can just never repay them. So repay them by doing the right thing. You know, that's like the only real way that you can like repay them, because they can be like, okay, I made a good child, or like, you know,
Right.
like so that's how I think through it. So yeah, just keep a positive mindset. And if you do get in that negative space, we all do, just know you're not alone, and do it for someone else if you're there. So, yeah.
Well, I'm honestly just getting excited. I'm sorry if that boy's like barking. He's excited for 2025 too, clearly. But um but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that wraps up our 2025 talk and getting ready with us for 2025. We're trying to shift our mindset and just become better. Like that's the overall goal, is just become better, to evolve. And yeah, let's just go ahead and make our wish. So, for those of you guys that may not have watched us before or that are new to our podcast, the last 30 seconds of our podcast, we close our eyes and we make a wish. We set our intentions for whatever we may want to see come into fruition. So, mine's going to be 2025 oriented, but make it whatever you want. And we'll see you guys in 30 seconds.
Okay, go. That's a long one.
Yeah. Somebody just had a full of prayer. I mean, bless it. Whatever it was, bless it.
Jesus name, Jesus name. Yeah, I had a whole prayer. I had a whole prayer. But Fat Boy did too. I wonder what his goals are. I wonder if he's trying to get out and meet a nice lady and have some babies this year.
Right. Exactly. He's probably got that on his mind for sure. Or like how many treats can he accumulate, or bones? Where he's gonna hide his bone at outside now, whatever. But we thank you guys so much for listening. And as Desiree mentioned before, please comment below and let us know what your goals are. From last year, it was actually crazy. We talk about it all the time, but we have people that listened to the podcast early last year and they had their goals and stuff, and they're still working towards them. And we love hearing your stories. So, like, even though you may not see it in the chat, it's still happening. The conversation is happening. So, feel free to put your goals down there below. And we're praying that everyone has an absolutely amazing rest of this year. I pray that you get your mindset. I pray that you have just a mental detox. I pray that you have a social media detox, or whatever you need to do to get your mind right and to come into 2025 strong. And I also hope that you celebrate yourself because you made it through another year. So don't forget to celebrate yourself. But we love you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us grow. And we will see you guys in the next video
Bye, guys.
or podcast.